My video for November the 4th, 2018, video number 2896, is entitled, Dealing with a Fragmented Creator. I can hear protests already. Ron, please tell me you don't really believe God is schizophrenic. If I were to listen to some people's explanation as to how this world came to be in the disorderly mess it obviously is, how could I come to any other conclusion? Some actually say our Creator was lonely and self-divided into a multiplicity of identities, human and otherwise. If I were to follow their reasoning, I would have to say that creation was and still is just an experiment that, to me, has obviously gone awry. Yes, everything in creation, I guess, would have to have a shadow side, leading to split personalities. While I have to agree that everyone has the potential to be good or bad, it would seem that, in reality, we are each both. Really? While I have heard amazing stories of transformation, most people seem to play out their lives on one side or the other. I struggle with the contention that we are both sides of the paradox. Yes, I've thought that was the way it actually is. But then circumstances led me to question my own beliefs as I dealt with challenges and delays. 2012 came and went without significant change. 2018 may well do the same. I guess the wheels of creation or creative evolution turn ever so slowly. Not only have we experienced wasted days and wasted nights, we've also wasted entire lifetimes. Sorry, folks, but it's really hard for me sometimes, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Yes, I do struggle still. Some days I feel quite elated and quite connected, and other days I feel quite disconnected. I cry out, "Oh God, where are you?" and I don't get any answer. There were times, of course, that I thought I did get answers. Sometimes it seemed like God was communicating with me very, very clearly. I've written poems about that. I've made videos about that. I've written books. Living Gods Are Hard to Find, and what was the other title that I of a book that I wrote? I forgot. Heretics, Harlots, and Other Saints. Those are two actual compilations of my written materials that I put together. Of course, they never got published by a mainstream publisher or anything, although I had people interested at one point. Nobody actually wanted to publish them without me paying them money to publish it. And that was not my purpose, and it still isn't. And I don't even have a web page anymore that people can go to. I used to have a web page. I don't have that anymore. I have videos. So things have changed a lot in my life, especially over the past few years, when there was the threat of them taking my home, and then the actual theft of my home, then living with my son for a little over a year, and then finally getting into my apartment where I had to get rid of a major part of my library, keeping only a relative few books in comparison to the amount I had. Maybe I've kept, I don't know, 10%, maybe 12%. I really don't know. Never did an actual count on my books, either the ones that I still have or the ones I used to have. Of course, those have been discarded, as I've said in previous videos. But I, for the most part, feel like I'm in a dark night of the soul or something, because I'm not, my greatest connections are when I'm hugging the trees, or especially the one tree that I hug every day. I continue to struggle wanting to hear clear clear messages that feel real to me. That's the key. Feel real. But I've had messages that felt real, and I felt sure that by 2011, 2012, the changes that I had long envisioned would finally be manifested on the planet. No, it didn't happen with Obama. It's not happening with Trump, although some people say that he is doing some amazing things. And of course, there's an awful lot of Christians, especially, and many Jews that believe he's doing the right things. But Israel still remains a terrorist nation, and so does the United States of America remain a terrorist nation. No other nations on earth are so pointedly attacking other nations outside of their own boundaries. Now, of course, there is a lot of people migrating from third world countries. And I don't know, you can't consider China a third world country anymore. It probably is the richest country on earth as far as actual holding of what we consider wealth. It certainly is the largest population. And a lot of Chinese people, of course, live in the U.S. as well as a lot of Indian people and people from Asia and all over the world, folks. People come to America. But America is a sham, as I see it, quite honestly. And who's responsible for the sham? Where is the corrective action that needs to be taken when criminals take over a government as they have taken over the United States? The Federal Reserve and the Rothschilds and the international banking cartel. This is a criminal operation. And people, somebody made a comment on, I guess it was my previous video. Well, actually the previous to the previous video, because I just uploaded a new one just before I'm making this one. And the comment was something like, the problem is all the Jews. No, the problem is not Jews. Zionists, the money Zionists anyway, the people that are at the top of the Zionist pyramid are not probably real Jews. They are Ashkenazis. I've talked about that in other videos. But even all the Ashkenazi Jews are not bad people. I have friends that are Ashkenazi Jews. They do not trace their lineage back to ancient Israel at all. They trace their lineage back to that area called Khazaria, that's north of Turkey and south of the former Soviet Union. It was actually part of the former Soviet Union. That's Ashkenazi or Ashkenaz. And they embraced Judaism. I've talked about that in previous videos. But the question that I keep asking myself is, when is God going to take responsibility for creation? And obviously, if God is fragmented, how does he take responsibility? Which fragment takes responsibility and brings balance to the whole thing? Some people say we have to heal the schizoidness or the schizophrenic nature that we all have within us, that we're all dual natured, a dark side and a light side. Well, I do believe we have to embrace our own dark side, acknowledge it, but most of people don't practice dark ritual magic and stuff like that, as the elite establishment seems to do, and as has come out, that is their practice. And where is God in all of this? When is God going to actually do something, or is God incapable of doing anything because God is actually a multiplicity of identities, not a single identity? These are questions that I wrestle with, and I'm not the only one, as I said at the end of my blurb. I'm sure many of you also wrestle with some of the things that are going on this planet and trying to make sense of it all. Anyway, thank you folks for listening, and namaste.